Do you ever just wake up and stare at the wall for about an hour because you have no clue what to do with your day? That might just be me. I might have a problem, but that's been my life for like the past year. Yesterday though, while I was glaring into my wall, I had the insane idea to just get up and build an entire Minecraft kingdom. And I mean an entire kingdom. This world is my Minecraft empire, and it's basically a map made out of 5 of the biggest civilizations ever built. Each has a unique theme and is around 250 million blocks in size. The only issue is that they take a very, very long time to build. So I've been putting off making the next kingdom for the past year. So I'm just going to start streaming and not end the stream or sleep until the next kingdom is completely finished. I literally have no clue what it's going to look like or any plans at all. The only thing I have is a Tesco meal deal, which I quickly got from the shop down the road. I should probably just go live before I can stop myself, because once I go live, there is no turning back until we have an entire kingdom finished. This is the last time that I won't be placing blocks in 24 hours. Okay, let's just do it. Let's go. Okay, chat, let's do this. I've set the timer and we're good to go. Let's build the biggest Egyptian kingdom ever in 24 hours. I feel good though right now. I feel energetic. I feel filled with my coffee that I just had. I've got energy, so we should be good. It should be easy. This will take a while. I mean, 24 hours, hopefully. But I'm just switching all the ground to sand right now. And then we can start shaping the ground. But yeah, we'll do the terrain. I'm hoping the terrain will take like 30 minutes. I don't want to do anything too advanced for like anything. Like nothing too detailed. I just want to focus on getting it built. Because this is like a huge plot of land. Like this is a build that could literally take like months for other people. Like we're going to have to use loads of well-edit tricks if we want to get this finished in time. And now we can start with the shaping then. Once we've got the lapis blocks where we want the river to be, then we can replace the lapis blocks with air and it will hollow this whole section out. I think this is a good width, right? I don't want to make too much of the river because then it will like take up room that could be houses. And if too much of this is river, then the overhead shot will just have this giant streak of blue that takes up most of it, which will kind of ruin it. Like with my Aztec kingdom, for example, that's my least favorite just because of from overhead, it's so green with all the trees. What we could do, I don't want to plan anything too ambitious, but we could have like a really shallow river and then in the middle, it could like drop down and be really deep. And we could have like cliffs on either side and like waterfalls feeding in. That would be really cool, but that might be too ambitious. What do you all think? It just means the terraforming will take a while though, but it would like come out over here, I guess. And yeah, I've got to be quick. Like I need to at most spend an hour terraforming or there's no way we'll finish this. And we can just like hollow all of this out and then we'll smooth it all again after. It's so weird always to think for like literally this time tomorrow. In fact, this time at the end of a stream, we'll be here again and this should be finished. Like that's so weird to think. But yeah, so this will be the part in the middle where we can have like cliffs and waterfalls and stuff. In fact, what we could do is maybe we have like a small stream that runs up here. And this could also have a waterfall. So it could be like a big central hub of the city, I guess. But maybe in the middle of the pit, there could be like some central statue of like a god or something. That could be really cool. And I could get Chloros on later to build that. If you've noticed this super ugly map, by the way, Chat and I sketched up this really bad plan of everything that we wanted to include. The plan is to have a huge palace or something similar and a stadium on one side of the map. And then a giant pyramid and sphinx on the other side, all split by a river in the middle. There will hopefully also be hundreds of houses around the map, as well as some trees, and ideally a really tall lighthouse that goes to build height. That was the plan at least, but the more I built, the more ambitious I kept becoming. And I really overestimated how much we could build. We're just gonna paint it all as sand, and we'll paint it again later, but this will just mean that when we're smoothing it, it won't bug. I'm so excited to see this finished. Or at least once we even get close to finished, it'll be really cool to look at this. What I might actually do is, okay, this is gonna look really weird, but you've got to trust me on this, okay? But yeah, we're gonna drain it a ton on both ends where the river comes out. And then replace anything that isn't air or water with grass. Let's see if we crash. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. Oh, we've crashed. I didn't think we'd actually crash. Okay, let me relog. Okay, we're good. Everything's still here. Do I do it again or would that be stupid? I feel like I shouldn't run the same command that I just did. In fact, I might do it with a brush and that way it won't be as much of an issue. So we'll do sphere to 30 and then mask anything that isn't air or water. Yeah, I'm just going to do this by hand. Might take a second though. What's the island theme? This is going to be an Egyptian island. So all the grass is just temporary. It's like a placeholder. Actually, before I do this, before I turn all this grass into like the blocks we want, maybe now would be a good time to add some hills as well, right? Rather than doing it after and then we'll have to redo all of this. We may as well add the hills in now and then do all the texturing. You see where it says Lighthouse with like the yellow circle? Maybe that could be on a cliff. So like not in a huge cliff, but then it could be raised up a little bit above everything else. In fact, it's been an hour now, right? I think we're at an hour. And this is all we've done in our first hour. So we've got 23 hours left to try and fill this whole thing. I definitely need to speed up, I think. So this side here is, so that's the stadium. And then this will be the pyramids. So maybe we have some kind of hills near the pyramids. So if we turn this to grass, and then I might use Go Brush for this, I think is the quicker way to do it. If we left click the flint, hopefully this works. And then we can add a brush. We'll go with Mountain 1 and make it pretty big and pretty flat like this. I want to keep it mostly flat because it's going to be a pain to work on if it's not flat, but we can always flatten it as we go. My only worry right now is if we're going to crash turning all this grass back into sand. Will the island no longer be a desert? It is going to be a desert. It's just I'm going to use the naturalize command and then I'm going to replace the dirt and the grass with sand, and then underneath we'll make it a nice stone gradient. We're going to have to do something about this though. This needs to be smoothed. I don't think I can leave it like that. I ended up spending about 2 more hours on the terrain and it really wasn't very interesting. Luckily though, once everything was switched back to sand, it started to look a lot better, which was really motivating. Unfortunately though, the chasm I decided to add in the center of the island was a huge problem. Waterfalls are one of the most difficult things to build, let alone when they're giant and you need 3 of them. I ended up using some really clunky world edit to make them work though, and I think that they looked fine. Especially once we have an epic statue in the middle here, nobody's going to be looking at the waterfalls. But with the terrain almost finished, we finally had a foundation to build everything on top of. We just had to add one more thing to the landscape. I was thinking what we could do is add palm trees, like this kind of palm tree, or like desert palm trees. Yeah, I'm going to build them here, and then what we're going to do is save them as schematics once we're done, and then we can just copy paste them around. So we don't have to make too many unique ones. So let's do jungle, I guess. Jungle logs is always good. And let's see if I can still make these. I used to be decent at making palm trees. I haven't made a palm tree in so long. I want to just like do this. I don't want to make them too big. And I want it to be like a really fluffy kind of palm tree because I really like doing like quite tall ones. They have like loads of layers. I think it always looks quite cool. I'll probably do the leaves and then I'll do some texturing on the branch and see how that looks. Oof. It looks okay from some angles. Trunk is too straight. Yeah, I'll mix up like different designs as we go, but we can add a bit of like a trunk like that. I kind of like that. And another thing we can do as well, I'm going to save this brush so that we can do it on all the trees if we want to, but we can do brush sphere 311015 and then mask on top of the leaves. And then Gmask 0. And then we should be able to do that. And we'll just make them look a bit more bushy, which is a nice touch. We can add some cocoa beans as like coconuts. I like to do sometimes. But yeah, I think that looks okay. But let's start some other trees then. I can't believe earlier, I literally said that it would take an hour to do the terrain, including the trees. I was so naive. I think that's enough trees, right? I think any more palm trees might be a bit overkill. We should be able to just place these down everywhere. And on the command, do you see how it says -R? That'll make it so the rotation is random. So each time we paste it, there we go. It'll have a random rotation. Yeah, I'll probably do quite a lot on like the grass areas. And we'll do a couple on like the sand areas, but not too many. I don't want to do too many trees because we might have to delete them. So I'm just doing them on the edges where I know that I probably won't be placing buildings. But I think we're good with the trees. Like the terrain, I would say the terrain's done. It looks so big like from above, but like if you come down to like ground level, like it's crazy big. I think we're at a point where we can actually build stuff. Before I built stuff though, I had a realization that I'd spent way too long on the terrain and I'd probably need some help. So I messaged a bunch of top builders on Discord asking if they'd be free to help me out. The plan was that my friend Squeaky Juice would work on the stadium, as he's worked on so many insane ones in my videos. But this time to mix it up, he'd be making a camel racing stadium. I have no clue if these existed in ancient Egypt, but I thought it sounded fun. I also messaged my friend Clores, who's an expert at building statues, to help out with the giant statue that we wanted in the middle. It's going to be a statue of Tefnut, the Egyptian goddess of water, seeing as water is so crucial to the kingdom. In fact, every single kingdom that I've built so far in my empire has had a statue of the region's god of water. And Chlorus has built all of them so far, as I'm awful at building statues. So it only makes sense that he makes this one too. I even messaged a handful of other builders too, who helped make my giant Minecraft city. I don't know what exactly they'd build, I just think that I need as much help as I can get right now to really make this build insane. The only issue is that nobody has replied yet. I'm going to just start building the Grand Palace, and then hopefully people message me back and can help out in a few hours. I guess we'll find out later. But yeah, I think something like this could look really cool. But yeah, we'll have the palace be right here, and ideally have it frame the statue a bit. But yeah, let's start with the middle, and then we'll kind of like just copy paste each side, keep it super symmetrical, which is going to save us a ton of time. I'm assuming we'll just use sandstone, right? I know it'll blend in, but I feel like it makes the most sense, and also end stone bricks work. This is like the kind of thing where I feel like with everything, like building wise, it's so hard to like start, but once you actually get going, normally building's a lot easier than you think it's going to be. Yeah, I feel like also with this kind of theme, I feel like it's more about shaping and less about details. Like even in the image, there's so many like just plain sand walls. There's a couple of patterns on, but I feel like if we just keep it really plain and then add a bunch of windows, that would be more than fine. If I select the block in the middle, I can just keep expanding by doing this. That. How tall do we want this, by the way? I don't know how high we want it to go. We have loads of build height we can work with, but I don't think the palace should be too tall. I might make each layer a bit taller. I think this kind of height's okay. And then we just add some like slabs, I guess. I'm thinking I'm more likely gonna leave like big blank walls, and then we can add like a gradient later at the end, rather than like really trying to decorate all the walls. But what I'm gonna do now is just do this, and then we'll flip and do that, and then we'll do it again over here. So do you see which part of the build this is meant to be? This is meant to be like the big tower, and then we'll have one on this side, and then we'll have the entrance over here, and then like some columns coming across. If I knew I was going to be doing this stream, I would have slept for a lot longer last night. I didn't even get that much sleep because I had my alarm on like kind of early, which was probably a really stupid idea. Yeah, so Super Meat Hammer's ready to begin soon, and he's also bringing some friends on so we can actually get a lot done. I feel like right now we're kind of behind, but I feel like we can really start to catch up if we get some help. It was at this point that a bunch of builders who I'd messaged got back to me, and they were ready to start building. I sketched out and picked out some work that they could work on. So like a big pyramid on the left, and then a smaller one on the right, and then like a sphinx in the middle. And ideally they won't be as big as the palace. Like I don't want them to be like crazy tall. My friend Squeaky Juice also logged on about an hour earlier. You might actually have already seen him building the camel racing stadium in the background. The only other builder that we need online is Chlorus, to make the giant statue in the middle. But he should be on very soon, hopefully. I still hadn't heard from him at this point. But perfect. I guess we'll leave them to that then. Yeah, you're good to go whenever you want, Super Meat Hammer. I'll just kind of leave you to it. And then this area is basically sorted then, so we don't have to worry about that. We'll add some houses along the front at the end, and probably just like cacti. I completely forgot about cacti. We'll add some of those later. But I think it's looking good. Now we've got Squeaky Juice over here. We'll have 3 builders over here. And I just need to lock in and get my parts done. But what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take like a 5-minute break and just eat some food. And then I can have my monster after, because I'm already feeling tired. But I'll be back in 5 minutes, don't worry. Hi, I'm back. Okay. Yeah, I think that's literally the fastest I've ever eaten a baguette in that break. But it was a good baguette. Yeah, I like the planters over there. I think it looks better than the image because of all the plants we've added. I still just don't know what we're going to do for like the rest of the building. Like, I think it looks really cool. And then you fly around and it's like, oh, there's nothing there. But I guess like a big doorway, right? But you're not even going to be able to see it because of a shadow. So it's not overly necessary. Let me add some night vision. Let's add like a frame, I guess. Like this, and then this. Actually, that's going to be 3 blocks wide once we stack it. So let's move it a bit. Like this, I think. Let's do set 43:9. And then some stairs. Why not? Flip and paste. There we go. So now there's at least a door to get in, which doesn't open, so it's not a very good door, but it is what it is. I'm stuck with what to do for this now. Because I think the front looks awesome, right? But I don't know. Oh, the bridges could definitely, by the way, join up to this at some point on either side. That could be dope. I don't know how this building is going to like go backwards. I guess something like the Gardens of Babylon is definitely what we'll have to do. If I like flip this to the other side and then we just kind of like have it come out a bit and round, yeah, it should look okay. Yeah, I think this is definitely the way to go with the build. And then we'll get rid of the door, but I'll probably do that later. I want to look at the Gardens of Babylon quickly. I think something like this would work really well. Like just with like the walls that are like kind of terraced. I really like this image. We'll probably do what we did here where we start by making a big stand for it. And we'll do stack 10 for now. And we can make a few bits that come out, like some footers, I guess. Is there going to be interior? No, I don't think we can have time for interior, sadly. Which I think is fine for a 24-hour kingdom. I think that makes sense. We can have like these pillars that come out. That looks cool. And then let's make like an archway here, maybe. Actually, we can make a planter here. I love adding planters. It makes the build look so much better. Like even just a small one like this. And then we'll go with bamboo, like that. That looks nice. I can't understand Axiom. Yeah, I don't understand it either. I feel like I could, like if I put my mind to it, but I'm good for now. Also, I need to start talking less. I literally feel like I'm gonna lose my voice already. I feel like in like 18 hours, I'm just gonna sound like death. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, I really don't know why I did this. I really don't. It'll be worth it once it's done, I think. And like we have an entire finished build. Like this is the kind of thing, like if I can do this, it's gonna be a great achievement. But we'll see. There's always a chance that we don't finish it. And that would suck. And then we'll just keep building it along. And then this bit will probably be quite a quick part to build. Because like I said, I want to use mostly just sandstone. And then later when we add the gradient, it will look a lot nicer. I was here at the start, saw a tree, and now I see a whole half of a palace. How are you staying awake? It's already the middle of the night in the UK. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, here's the plan. At this point, at the top of here, we'll then have a roof that will kind of wrap round. And then the roof will have to have like, there'll be like another wall here. And then there'll be a roof on the middle bit as well. And then we can have like a dome at the back of it. Maybe not like a round dome, but like a flat kind of dome, like a cylinder, but like with a slight dome to it. And then we'll have like a building running, like a shape running down the middle too. Which is hard to explain, but it should look okay. I think I've got an idea. So what we're going to do is make a gradient in this ball, and then I can paint the gradient onto the sandstone over there. Yeah, this will give it like a nice tan color, which will make it look really aged, which I quite like. And then over here, we'll do the quartz one. And now we can just kind of add this gradient everywhere, like this. Oh, this already looks so much better. I love how aged it looks. This is what I meant earlier when I said I don't mind leaving some of the sandstone walls really bland, because once you start painting them like this, it just makes them look so much better. Now that we've got these gradient balls made, the good thing is we can always use them again later if we ever need to like paint in areas. So they might come in handy later on as well. But yeah, I think we're done with the palace. I'm really happy with this, especially with like all the colors and stuff on it. I think it looks really clean. Well, not clean, it looks really dirty, but like that's kind of the point. It's meant to be like really sun-worn. But I really want to add some bridges going along either side. But I think we're going to do the houses first. In fact, really quickly, let me find my Greek kingdom, because that's got a good example of what I'm going to do with the houses. And basically what I did is I put down all these pathways. All these paths are just giant blocks of like stone. And then I just pasted down the houses. And because there's so many like unique designs, you can't notice as much that they're copy pasted just because they're so dense. Because they all kind of just form one big city. And the way that I did it with this one is all the roofs and stuff, like some of them have diagonals, some don't. And loads of the buildings have loads of bits that like pop out. And that way, once they're rotated round and everything, they look like unique houses. So that's kind of what we're going to go for. Normally I'd go to a different world to build them, but I think I'm just going to find some land over here and build them here. And I'm hoping we can build at least 8 unique houses. Ideally, we want like 15. But yeah, we'll definitely go for like an Arabian style of house. I like the image up there. The first one's always the hardest to design. Have like windows here. We could use scaffolding for the windows. That's always a good block. And then behind it, we're just going to add black concrete because definitely not enough time to do interior. There we go. And we'll just add more sandstone, maybe some bigger windows here, and then we'll just add a trim around the top. Or maybe glazed terracotta could look good. I think brown maybe, and then some gates. Yeah, like I said, that first house is going to be the most important, but it's also important to make sure that I'm making these quick enough. So we've got to balance our time right. And then maybe some granite could work for the roof trim, like that maybe. I think packed mud on the roof would be good. Or maybe just granite again, but not polished. And then what we can do is come around here, and then we're just going to flip this. How's the camel racing going? We'll go check on that soon, but it was looking good a few minutes ago when I checked it out. And then we'll have the building kind of expand out here. Maybe a window. And then we can add some trapdoors up here. And some gates. Even more gates. We love gates. I think some roofs will do packed mud and then some will do diorite and just kind of mix it up. Do you also get hella frustrated when you keep misplacing some blocks? Yeah, that's definitely going to happen a lot more tonight though, the more that I'm awake. Oh, look at the palace in the background. Look how big that looks from down here. Like, that is a huge palace. When you see it like that, it doesn't seem as bad that that took like 6-7 hours. What I normally do for these kingdoms is I'll use like loads of different house designs. So I make like a batch of like 8 for like the main area. Then I'll make like a batch of 8 for like a poorer area. Once I had one house done, I kept going with the rest. As the designs were pretty basic, it didn't take long. I think that's enough like standard houses. We could probably move on to like slightly nicer ones now. And we'll do them in a row in front. Like not like nicer, like they'll still be in the same area. They'll just look a tiny bit better. I want to do one like the one with the arch. You know, the house that's like got the arches on top? I'd love to do something like that. 70 viewers. I'm glad people are enjoying. I'm guessing YouTube just feel bad for me for how long I've been streaming. So they're trying to push it a bit more. I think this is my favorite house. Yeah, I like this one so far. It's definitely a lot more interesting than the rest. Oh, what I want to do. Shelves would look so good as shutters. Oh, I like that. That looks nice. Yeah, see, it's like a bit more unique of a design, but it still fits in with the others. Also, I really want to just go back and add shelves to these. I shouldn't, because I should really just leave them how they are. Like, I love adding shelves to windows. I then went on and spent ages making a bunch more of these fancy house designs. These took a lot longer to make though, but I really liked how they came together. With all of the houses done though, I deleted them, saving each as a unique schematic, so that we can paste them all around later on, once we've marked out where the paths will go. I did kind of get sidetracked though, I can't lie, as the group of builders told me in chat that they were finished. All I wanted to do was check out their finished builds. Mango, I think we're done. Let me quickly check out what Super Meat Hammer's finished up. Basically, Super Meat Hammer, Amator, and November Noise have all been working over here. So they built this pyramid over here, which looks crazy good. And you even got this beetle on the top, which I really love the detailing. Later on, we'll come over here and we'll add some trees and stuff and houses. The pyramid looks so good. And then November Noise has made this Sphinx. In fact, November Noise is even over here. But this looks so cool. And I love the platform it's on as well. We can always move it around a bit if we need. But I love this. And then they've also made this other pyramid, which they've just been finishing up, which is at a bit of an angle, which I think looks good. And it's pretty unique from the other one. Yeah, like everything they've done over here looks so good. And then over here, Squeaky Juice is working still on the camel racing arena. I feel like I keep coming over here so much. Oh, in fact, he started the inside as well. I'm so excited to see this. Sleep deprivation hit me pretty hard after though, as I forgot what I was meant to be doing. Instead of making paths and placing down the houses, I instead designed a small market area around the palace, which does look cool at least. I also added some walls all around one side of the kingdom, which is where it links up to the 4 other islands via the ocean. Finally though, I remembered what I was meant to be doing, and I got back on track with the houses and the paths. We need to like cover this whole thing now in houses, which is gonna be quite a task. I'm gonna warn you, by the way, this is gonna look awful until we're done. So yeah, as a heads up, if things look really bad, give them a bit of time and it should look a bit better again by the end. I normally leave a bit of room between the walls and the houses, so we'll go like this. We'll just go right around the edges. Mango, mango, mango. What's up, Dashcam? But yeah, we're gonna have everywhere that you see smooth stone and a bit over the edges is gonna be houses, basically. That's the plan that I'm going for here. And then maybe it can like join back over here to the plaza. And it can curve around a bit like this. I think that'll look okay. And then we'll also have to do houses over here on like all around the stadium. Do you think we should do that now, or should we do these houses and then do those? Like, I don't know if we're better off doing all the houses at once or like splitting them into stages. I might do them all at once, to be fair. It might be quicker. Like over here. And this one won't go right to the edge because I want to leave this bit of terrain here. But we can go right near the edge like that. And then once we've got bridges connecting this, it would be really, really neat. Like that, I think. And then we'll have paths over here as well. I may as well put them in because I've got all the commands out at the moment. Hopefully this doesn't mess with what Squeaky Juice is doing. Sometimes when you're doing big world edit commands, you can easily like destroy someone else's build without realizing. So if I do that, hopefully he'll tell me. Yeah, we'll have the houses here like wrap around the building. Yeah, everywhere that you see smooth stone, the gray, that's where the houses are gonna be. So you can kind of get an idea now of just how many houses we're gonna have. But first of all, before we add the houses, I need to do some floor texturing. And this is where each of the areas can kind of vary a little bit. So what I want to do first is add in some planters like this. And that way we can just have like some sections here where we'll add in plants. Maybe sand instead actually though. I'll probably start with sand and then we can always add grass on top instead. Just so it's more desert-like. And we'll add a few strips like this, like parts like here as well. We can clean up the edges. And that'll just clean it up a little bit. You could do poor, middle class, and rich. I think that's what we're gonna do. I think this will be the poorest part. And then this will be like the richest part because it's right near the palace. And then this will just be whatever this is. I guess just people that like camels will live near the camel stadium. Maybe like around the entrance to this, we could do some stuff. And then outside the front of this, we can just have a few palm trees in these planters. I say planters, but they'll just be like big things of sand. Are your fingers good? My fingers don't feel great, but I think because my neck feels so bad, my fingers don't feel quite as awful in comparison. But yeah, the trees, even just having trees here makes this look so cool. But the next step I want to do is adding some texture. Seeing as this will be like the poorest bit, maybe we have like a slightly grittier floor over here. It's quite a sharp contrast. I don't know if I like it, but I think it'll look fine when there's houses all over it. We'll add that along the edge. I think that blends it a bit better together. But I think that looks okay. And each area's got different blocks now on the floor just to mix up a tiny bit. I just want to work on adding the houses, but like there's so much, like if I don't do this stuff now, it will become a problem later. And we're just going to make like a tile design and then we can copy the tile down a bunch, just in random spots. And we'll mostly add these where we think like main paths will be, as like the most walked areas. Let's add some all around this plaza as well, because that'd be quite a busy area. Yeah, we've got Leonard over here who's working on this plaza area, which would be awesome. But I'm gonna start pasting the houses then, I think, over here. I think we're good to start pasting. So like, this is the important part. I think house number 7 is where they get a bit more premium. So let's start with this one. House 8. Let's see, I don't want them to touch, but I want them to be as close as they can without touching. And this is what I mean when I say that this takes a while. This is gonna take so long. So basically, we've got to do this and cover the entire thing.
3 hours later.
Oh, I'm starting to feel sick as well. I'm not just feeling tired, I'm just feeling sick at this point. But let's keep going, why not? I'm gonna add loads of bushes. So this is gonna look really messy, but it's a good way to fill up space. For bushes, we're literally just gonna do like big things of leaves. That's what I normally do. So for example, we can do this, and then we can do that, and then we can add in the leaves here. From above, they look good. Maybe a few bushes up here, and then we can probably just add in some palm trees, and we should be good. You're addicted to leaves? I do like leaves. Because they add a bit of color, right? Like, remember this without the leaves? That makes it pop so much more. In fact, I'm thinking, maybe, just maybe, a couple over here. And then I think we're good. I'll stop adding leaves. I was gonna steal Leonard's street lamps. So he's working on like this market area over here. Look at the views, by the way. This part looks so cool, but look at it with everything around it. Look at that. That looks so cool. Like all of his build over here with like all this detail. It's such a good backdrop. But yeah, this area I love so much. This is looking really, really cool. And also we can steal so much, which is going to be great. So let's steal his, let's steal his bush over here and place it down a few times. What are you doing after you finish the houses? I have great news for you, Crafty Cat. Once we finish placing down these houses, we're going to place down the houses over here. Isn't that pretty exciting? And then, once we're done placing down the houses over here, we're going to place down the houses over here. Oh no. It was just as boring as it sounds, but I ended up spending the next 5 hours of my life pasting down houses in the other 2 villages, while extremely sleep deprived. It was so boring that I thought I'd skip ahead a bunch for you. But it makes for cool replay shots at least. Especially the village around the camel stadium, I think looks really cool. I also stole some of Leonard's market stalls to add outside the camel racing stadium, which was, by the way, now finished. Yeah, this stadium looks awesome. Squeaky's done such a good job with this. I think it's now my favorite part of the whole kingdom, which makes sense given how long he spent on it. And the inside is so cool as well. It's giant in here. This is the perfect place to race camels. Flora's also finished building the statue in this time, and it fits the entire kingdom so well. It might be my favorite statue in the entire empire now. It's such a great centerpiece. I love it. It's also worth noting that I did finally also build the bridges across the canyon. I can't really use any of the footage though, as I was so tired that I wasn't properly forming any sentences anymore. But luckily though, that was my lowest point, and I somehow got some more energy after. I think I kind of broke through the tiredness. I think we're good though with this bit, right? This area is pretty much done. This area is done. And this area is done. Unless I'm missing something. But I think we're good with all of these bits. I kind of wish that I moved for Sphinx earlier. I'm kind of tempted to move it over here and it could fill up this backspace and then we'd have more room to put houses between these two things. I might see if it even fits, because it might not fit. Yeah, I feel like that could go there, right? Yeah, I'm glad we moved this. Like, for sightlines you can get from over here now are so much nicer. What if you make part of the island like crops? That could be cool too, I guess. Maybe this area back here could be crops. Like, we could have some crop fields in the hills. Let's do that right now. This. I want it to be quite smooth then if we're gonna have wheat fields on this bit. But I think a wheat field here works. Why does it looks like it's laminated or something. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go, and then we'll just go around the edges of this bit. I think normally it'd be like closer to the water. Like if we got all this room over here that needs filling, it may as well just go here. I think it looks okay with like all these gaps in it. It kind of breaks it up a bit. Yeah, I quite like that. I think that looks fine. I want to spend some time now just making the pyramid fit in more. I'm going to just build up some rows of columns on either side of it. And then once we've got that, we can build something in the middle of it. I don't know what though. To be honest, I'm just going to make like a plaza here. I don't want to add any houses or anything as it'd ruin the view of the pyramid. So just having some benches and plants should be good. And then I think I just want to add a compact village next door in like this sliver of space, just to fill up the empty room. But with this half of the map also now finished, the only thing I had left to build was the giant lighthouse that would overlook the entire kingdom. Oh, I'm so tired. This is gonna be a struggle. If we add like the shape, I guess, first of the tower, pretty much everything is done other than the lighthouse. This isn't going to be like the fanciest lighthouse in the world. I'm going to warn you now, it's going to be quite basic because my brain cannot handle anything too fancy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then we'll do that again. And we'll just keep doing this a couple of times and build it up. Let's replace the edges with smooth sandstone. Yeah, I feel like right now the kingdom's missing like one big building, and I feel like this lighthouse is going to sort that. I feel like this is exactly what it's missing. Let's add some walls around it as well. So we're just doing a quarter of it, and then we're going to rotate it round. I think I might be able to finish early. Once the lighthouse is in, we're at a point where I'm happy to call it finished. And we're going to make the windows pretty big. And I want to go with chain, and then I want to do scaffolding in front of that. Hey Leonard, welcome back. Yeah, we're still going. We've got 3 and a bit hours left, but I'm thinking we might be able to finish early with the way it's going, which should be awesome. I think that looks nice as a window. Yeah, the amount of like words I'm messing up is quite crazy, but I think I've got a pretty valid reason for it at least. But yeah, now we've got this bit, we're gonna add the next layer and we'll just kind of build it up. So do you see in the image, there's like that first layer, that's what we've got. And the next one's kind of like roundish. Or is it like hexagonal, I think? And I'm gonna make this go to the build height, but I'm worried we're gonna have not enough room. Let's add like a tower in the middle so we can see how high it can go. That's the maximum build height right there. So maybe I need to make this a bit less tall actually. I think that looks good. This bit could definitely be a bit taller, but like I said, we need room to have like the top part. So I think that's okay. And now we've just got the bit that goes on top of this. It's gonna be the difficult bit. I'm thinking we'll just do like a few metal beams coming out for join up. But yeah, once this lighthouse is done, I'm 100% sure we're just gonna end it. Like, I think this is such a good place to end all of this. And like I said, we could try and make a dock, but I don't think we've got time to do it properly. And also, I think that's such a weird place to end. Rather than ending with this build that just overlooks everything, I think is like perfect. I don't think we need to add anything else. Bro, you sound completely different than you did at the beginning. My voice is really not doing very well. It's a very strange design for a lighthouse. But I really like it. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't look very good. And then we just need a light. I don't know if there's like a light in the image, but I'm just going to add a giant light in the middle. I think frog light, and we'll do a yellow one. I know it might not be very Egyptian to have like an actual light in the lighthouse like this, but it's like fantasy Egyptian, so it's completely fine. And that is bright. And what we could try is honey, maybe, on like the corners. And then we could have yellow stuff here, like this maybe. And then we can do this. And then we can just stack this a few times. Yeah, I like that. That makes it look more like a lighthouse than the thing in the image, which I quite like. And then we'll just add some copper on top again. But yeah, last thing we're going to do is, once we add this gradient, we're done. And this will just make it look a lot more worn and look kind of like a shadow. I don't want to do too much. I want to keep this tower quite clean. But just having a few bits like this just make it look so much better. But if I do some around this wall as well. But I think we're all done, right? I genuinely did not expect to get this entire build finished. I really thought I'd give up early on. But I'm so proud of the end result. I'm going to be doing this whole thing again soon, but building an entire brand new Minecraft city in 24 hours. So please make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss it. There'll be loads of builders helping out. It's going to be crazy. Thank you so much for watching the video though. I hope you have a great day. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for coming, and goodbye. Bye everyone. Bye.